All right, tonight is the Q&A. I will do the screen sharing. Okay. Can you all see? Let me see. Can see? Okay. First question. How do we differentiate bodily pain that arise from meditation or from physical illness that requires medical attention? So how do we differentiate these two types of pain? In the ultimate sense, whether it's a physical pain or whether it's a meditation pain or sickness in that sense, they are all falls under unpleasant feelings ultimately. But when we are practicing, we try to differentiate these two types of pain because of certain inherent nature. Meditation pain usually is that when you meditate, while you are doing sitting meditation, for example, then when the pain, when you get up and you walk around, when you do your walking or something else, then the pain already disappears. It only comes back during the sitting meditation. At that time, we categorize them as meditation pain. Now, this physical illness or physical pain, sometimes when you get up from the meditation, this physical pain, they do not disappear. They kind of like linger on for perhaps for the whole retreat, and when they linger on, that means that perhaps you need to see a doctor or something like this. But you need to rub on it. So these are the physical pain. The physical pain, although ultimately both of them are in the sense of unpleasant feelings, but this physical illness, they are long-lasting. Long-lasting in the sense you cannot keep noting on them. If not, you'll be totally flat. Very, very not easy when there's physical illness or physical pain is there. So meditation pain, we categorize them as just when you get up from your sitting, then the pain is over. And the physical illness and physical pain, then those things, it lingers on for a long period of time. Even you're not sitting, even tomorrow, okay, the next day, that one, you may require medical attention. The next one. So when you see people externally as anatta, how then we practice karuna towards them? When you see people as anatta, how then we practice karuna towards them? This is by Sister Padma Lim, these two questions. All right. When we want to radiate karuna or even metta to the beings around you or to the people around you, then this time you must not see the beings as anatta. You must not see the beings as anatta. Anatta belongs to area of vipassana. Whereas when you are talking about karuna, then you have to conceptualize. And you have to conceptualize the beings. Now here, since you are doing karuna, then karuna here means that your focus is on the suffering of others. Here, inherently, everybody, everyone, every being have certain kind of suffering or certain kind of dukkha. We cannot run away from it. No beings in this samsara can able to run away from it. No matter how happy you are right now, there's also certain degree of dukkha is there. although it may not be so prominent or so clear. Overall, the dukkha itself, the samsaric dukkha, while you're still in samsara, that means there's always followed by dukkha. It's still in samsara, there's always this dukkha is tagging around. So in that sense, when you radiate the karuna, then when you radiate to all these beings, yourself included, and towards the beings around you and to all beings, then you must be able to look at them as a concept, as concepts, in the sense that they are beings. You kind of like imagine, in that sense, and then you, from your heart, you bring that compassion, you bring that karuna, that all these beings free from all this suffering. Whatever suffering they're going through, may they be free from all this suffering, mental or physical suffering. Something like that, you wish them. Then when you do that, then the karuna will start to expand, starts to reach out. Then that time you slowly and slowly develop the nature of karuna. So we must not confuse all this vipassana and all this samatha type of meditation, and we don't kind of mix them all up. If we mix them up, then we're going to have a problem. Whereas afterwards, later on, we'll see another question. This one from a vipassana, then you mix it with a samatha, then also there's another problem. Okay, next one. Okay, can see again? Okay, well, we go to the next question. All right. We go to question 3 first. Okay. Bhante, I hope to gain some basic understanding in relation to dukkha, viparinama dukkha, and sankhara dukkha in vipassana meditation. Number 3. What is the difference between noting the pain and seeing the pain as it is at the same pain arisen moment? How would the act of noting and seeing the pain as it able to develop the mind and body? When to contemplate anicca, dukkha, anatta? Is a contemplate means thinking, analyzing, understanding. According to a meditator, it's required to take at least 3 actions in meditation: noting, seeing, contemplating. Correct? Okay. Now, before I answer this question, I got to let you know that this is not how you phrase your questions. This is not the way that you should phrase the questions. When you phrase a question, if it's number 3, let's say right now, then number 3, there's only 1 question mark. It cannot be so many question mark in one single, there's so many questions in one, this one cannot. You have to put a short statement. For example, you put a short statement, then you put a question mark there. Then one question mark, right? That will be easier. If not, sometimes you mix up everything. Then there are many parts that we have to elaborate, Not to say we cannot elaborate, but there are, tonight, maybe all of you got to sit until maybe 10:15 now. Quite long. Anyway, all right. First one. Is noting pain, seeing pain the same thing? Actually, they are the same. It's just a different, we are using different words only. Seeing, in a way of vipassana seeing, especially when you read the sutta, when it says seeing, that means you are realizing, you are noting something directly, not by thinking about it. So noting, seeing, they are the same. How would the act of noting, seeing is able to develop the mind and the body? You see, the act of noting here, whether you are noting the pain or rising, falling or anything, here the act of noting is that you are developing the mindfulness, the concentration, the wisdom power, and you build that qualities of the mind. And those qualities that you build up, then you come to see anicca, dukkha, anatta. You come to see anicca, dukkha, anatta. The word contemplate here is not thinking type of, not the thinking type. Here when they will use the word, especially in the suttas, when you read the contemplate, the word contemplate is, in English is, I mean, from Pali to English, it's difficult to translate. In the Pali word, it's called anupassana. Anu means repeated or again and again. Pasana means seeing or seeing, in that sense. So contemplate here, it means you're seeing it again and again, or you're noting it again and again. When you note these objects again and again on the nature of on the characteristics of the mind and body, then when you note them again and again, then you see a deeper characteristics of this mind and body. The deeper characteristics here, in the sense that they begin to show you the different aspect of anicca. They shows you the different aspect of dukkha, and they show you the different aspect of anatta. So when you're able to see these things, then that time you actually begin to see the nature of anicca, dukkha, anatta. So contemplating here does not mean thinking, analyzing and understanding. You do that when you are not meditating. When you are actually meditating in the vipassana, that thinking, analyzing, you put it all aside already. Your job is to just see it as it really is. Because seeing it as it really is another type of wisdom. The thinking wisdom, the intelligent wisdom, the analyzing with the books and so on, that is conceptual. You're able to differentiate conceptually. That is one type of wisdom. But that wisdom cannot bring you to enlightenment, cannot develop the mind in the sense that you are truly seeing the actual anicca, dukkha, anatta. So you must come to the next type of wisdom. That means the wisdom, the penetrating, you are discerning right now the nature of this body and mind without the thinking, without that conceptual analyzing. This is only full observation to see them as they really are. Then only you truly see the characteristic, not have the bias of the concept here. It's fully seeing as they really are. Then as your mind gets more matured, more developed, then you begin to see anicca, dukkha, anatta. So a meditator don't contemplate so much. Maybe just for a short while sometimes, but majority of the time is just noting, or you want to call it seeing in that sense. Here the Pali word, sometimes the word, the suttas that you read, the seeing part, sometimes the Buddha use the word seeing. Many times it means noting. Sometimes actually means eye seeing. But so you have to read with the context according to the sutta and the situation of the story in the sutta. So most of the time, the seeing part is to able to see things as they really are. That means noting, pay attention. All right? That's number 3. Number 4. How would the mere noting the pain, pleasant feelings or neutral feeling, seeing them as they are, or contemplating them as anicca, dukkha, anatta, able to lead to the mind and body to quite secluded from sensual pleasure, secluded from unwholesome stage, which accompanied by applied and sustained thought with a rapture and pleasure born of seclusion, the first jhana as stipulated in the sutta. Okay. Now here, just as I said the other day, on the overall, when you are looking at the Four Noble Truths, there's one part when it comes to the Fourth Noble Truth, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. In the Noble Eightfold Path, as I said, that Noble Eightfold Path, it's the noting part of the mind. It's the cultivating part of the mind. So how do you cultivate those things? You cultivate those things by paying attention again and again. Again and again, we pay attention. When we pay attention again and again, the strength of the mind, the mindfulness gets stronger, the concentration gets stronger. Then that time, you actually see them as anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Not the way, as I said earlier on, not the way as you think, but the way of full attention towards it. And here your question is to lead to the sensual pleasure and finally it's all the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. Yeah. So how does this mere noting, as you said, you think there's nothing mere noting about it. While we are doing vipassana, those things that you know in the samatha or in the right concentration, you have the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. All these qualities of the jhana, you will experience it from the day one you start your vipassana meditation until you get enlightened also. You're going to experience these four jhanas also. But in the sense of, we don't call it as jhana because it's a very, hold on. Now, it's a very, when we do vipassana meditation, although all these qualities of, just now as you put there, applied thought, sustained thought, vitakka, vichara, then you have rapture, piti, pleasure, sukha, and ekagata, All these five qualities of the jhana that usually we talk about. When we come to a certain development of vipassana, these five qualities are also being experienced. Perhaps most of the time for yogis, this one may not be so, this five is not so predominant. Not so predominant. But the yogi experienced them. Then after that, as you go on in the development of vipassana, further development, deeper development, then the vitakka vichara also disappear. It remains pleasure, it remains piti, sukha, and ekagata. So it also remains that while you are noting and noting your object during this time. Also, when you go even further, then here the piti also disappear. Then it remains these two, sukha or pleasure here, and ekagata. They remain these two. Then after that you go even more further. Then it remains ekagata and also upekkha. In the development of vipassana until you attain enlightenment, these qualities are also there. So let us look a little bit more deeper. If you want to put a yardstick towards on this one, and especially the yardstick here is the 16 insight knowledge here. Then when you develop to a stage of, let's say, third insight knowledge, second, third insight knowledge, This is where your all these five things, vitaka, vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. Around second insight or third insight, that thing become very clear. Then, when you go to the second jhana, as you put it, then that one will be at the third, somewhere in the third insight, and they are quite strong in that sense. Then when you come into the second jhana, third jhana, when you come to the third jhana, where it only arises when you only have pleasure and concentration, then that time around at the fourth insight. Here, the insight here is the knowledge of arising and passing away. That you really feels very relaxed, very clear. Then, after that, from fifth insight onwards, until all the way, and equanimity of insight, and then after that, with the enlightenment process, all these things, the sukha also disappear already. Only that time, ekagata and upeka. Ekagata means one-pointedness, concentration, and upeka, very stability and very equanimous state of mind. Then it accumulates, all this equanimity accumulates at the knowledge of equanimity of formation, sankhara upeka jnana. So as I said, these five factors, they are eliminated, just like they are parallel with the development of samatha meditation. They are parallel. But in the vipassana meditation, these five factors, they are not so, in the sense that they are not so important, not to say important, but they are not as important, all right? They are still important, but they are not as important as the wisdom that arises from it. The wisdom here, that means the penetration that arises from it, those are more important compared to the vitaka, vichara, sukha, ekagata, and so on. So the insight in the vipassana, it's more important compared to the five, this one. That's why you may not see, a lot of times you may not hear teachers talk about those things, about the five qualities inside the vipassana meditation. But they are there. If they are not there, you cannot function. Your whole vipassana cannot function. But it's the resultant, it's the insight that arises. Then the insight here is the anicca, dukkha, anatta. Although just now I gave you whether it's a second insight, third insight, fourth insight, which insight, and so on, they are just different ways of how you look at anicca, dukkha, anatta. The different ways of how you look at anicca, dukkha, anatta. So the insight is more important in the vipassana compared to the ekagata and so on. All right. So it doesn't mean that they are not there. They are there. Sometimes you want to know that whether you are there or not in your meditation. If some of you that especially in a retreat, not much you can see that in the everyday practice, but this is in the retreat. Sometimes this is in the retreat. Now you sit down. The object is already waiting for you. It's already changing here, changing there, pipi papa, rising, falling, it's already start moving already. Not like when you are beginning in a practice. While you're in the beginning of a practice, then you want to find, where's the rising, falling? How come no rising, falling one, Bante? Just sit there for 1 hour, see for 2 or 3 minutes, oh, gone already. But when you have this quality, this power, this quality, this insight that what is mentioning over here, the 5 factors, that time is very different. That time, you sit down, object is already there waiting for you. Even that you sit down, let's say in a deeper aspect, you sit down, let's say you don't want to, in a way you don't want to pay attention to it. You just sit there, relax. The object is still pee papa, let you just carry on for you. For a while. But if you really don't pay attention, of course your effort will start to diminish. Once your effort starts to diminish, of course you won't be able to notice that. But you will note that for a number of yogis, they sit down. You don't have to look for the object anymore. The object is already waiting for you to be noted already, so to speak. So because of that, mind is is well developed. That you put there, the mind is it can able to just notice the object already. So sometimes you may find that sometimes you begin, again, when you begin your meditation, is just only you can be mindful for 1 or 2 minutes. The rest of the 55 minutes or so, you're sleeping there, or you're thinking there, and so on. But once you go further into the development, at that time you can see that you can sit for the whole hour. The mind is fully alert for the whole hour, or even like the 80% of the hour. And it's consistent with one sitting after another sitting, So it can happen. So the qualities are happening inside there. It's just that we don't look at that quality so much. We are more focused on the insight that's coming in. So this is what it means here. All right, number 5. In the sutta, the Buddha said, "When my concentrated mind was purified, bright, and unblemished, rid of imperfection, malleable, wieldy, steady, and attend to imperturbability, I directed it to the knowledge of passing away and reappearance of being," the first watch of the night here. Is vipassana meditation leads to the concentrated mind? Are the mind purification and directed actions of the vipassana activities? This is from Brother Teck Hong. All right. Now, when the Buddha direct those, which is part of supernormal powers, abhinya, where one can see beings arises, how being passes. This is what we call the what do you call that already? Divine eye? Then here, is it vipassana? Then this is not vipassana. This is, in the first watch of the night, is the samatha, and you develop the samatha fully. And of course, the Buddha has developed, and the Bodhisattva has developed this samatha for eons already. So he has developed it fully. So on that particular night, the first watch of the night, he can able to have those things. But he's not fully enlightened yet at the first, this one. He's not fully enlightened. He's still a bodhisattva. He's still a bodhisattva. Now, so that one belongs to samatha area. It's only coming to the third watch of the night when the Buddha begins to see into the dependent origination. When you see cause and effect, and then those things falls under vipassana in that sense. And then only enlightenment takes place. Full enlightenment, perfect enlightenment takes place. So it only comes to the dependent origination, I think, in the third watch of the night. My history and all these things are not very good, but kind of lah. So the first watch of the night, that is not for vipassana. Okay. Now that's the next question. We'll share screen again. Okay, can see. All right. Next question. You mentioned there are numerous pitfalls the yogi are likely to encounter. Many of us are unable to attend long retreats under good teachers. We mainly practice at home. Some of us have been practicing for decades with little progress. Ha, this one, many of you. Anyway, number 6. How to make sure that we are always on the right Satipatthana path. How to check and analyze our routines not to go astray. What are the criteria and yardstick for checking? Number 7, can such lay yogis attain the early insight knowledges? Of course. Number 7, we answer number 7 first. Yes, of course. You can attain all the way to enlightenment. Not just only early this one. It all depends on how much you want to put in your time to practice. Yeah? Now, come back to number 6. How to make sure we are always on the right Satipatthana path. How to check and analyze our routines as not to go astray. What are the criteria and yardstick for checking? Now, this is actually it's a very big question, and also it's a very you have to go in a talk or two just to answer you all these type of things. But just to give you a simile of this, how are we going to write this one? It's like when you are going into a forest. When you're going to a forest and you go into the path inside there, and sometimes inside the forest there are many paths. Although sometimes there's a main path, after that there's a lot of branches out here. You really do not know which one to take. You really do not know which one to take. So how are you going to know which one are you going to take then? You know that you are supposed to reach a certain destination, but inside the forest there are so many different paths that's going through. So how then? Now here, sometimes in this type of situation in real life, some people do. They simply just walk here and there, and then they get lost inside the jungle, inside the forest. And usually when they get lost inside the forest, usually somehow or another our minds, we just go round and round the forest. And then after a while, after that, hey, how come we come back to the same place again, when you don't have any guide or anything, this one. So it's just kind of like the mind will just go round and round inside. So how do you know that you need to this one? You need to walk the right path then inside the forest. So therefore, when you want to do that, you must have a tour guide or a guide, a hiking guide, or a person who is very familiar with the path. Or sometimes you may meet a hiker or somebody. Then you ask, which is the path that's to go to this destination. Then you have to ask. Then the person is kind enough then to show you that is the way. Or if you don't have a guide, nowadays you have GPS. That GPS also, they'll point you to the right path, to the right way where to go also. So it's a kind of thing, again, is a guide also. Nowadays, I rely a lot on the GPS, especially when I go to a new path. Make sure that I don't go somewhere, don't come back, don't get lost in the jungle. And the GPS is very, very useful. So that will be my guide. But it comes into the same thing also in the Vipassana meditation. Then you must really look out to go and seek for a good teacher or a competent teacher or a competent Kalyana Mita who can able to advise you on those things that you are interested in. For example, if you want to do Vipassana, you must seek for those people, teachers, friends that able to guide you. And if you want to do Samatha meditation also, you must get the appropriate people. Here, the appropriate people means that you got to go and look out for them. They don't suddenly appear in front of you. Not like this Zen saying, The Zen saying says that when you are ready, the teacher will appear in front of you. But that one has a much more deeper meaning. Meaning that now when you are ready, when you are interested in certain meditation or a certain thing, you go and look out for him. Then he appear in front of you. In that sense, not in the sense that suddenly they poof, come out. No. So here you need to find teachers. If a lot of you are mainly practice at home, sorry to say that many of you will not progress very far. Not to say you cannot progress, not to say you cannot progress, but if you do it every day, let's say you make sure that certain time or make sure that every day you practice, you also will not go very far after many years compared to a yogi that goes for a retreat in 2 or 3 weeks. What you do in 5 years, they can achieve that in 2 or 3 weeks. An average yogi, Then with the average yogi in the worldly setting, means you don't go for a retreat. You meditate every day, but 1 hour a day, let's say, compared to a yogi who goes for a retreat. That yogi goes in the retreat in 2 or 3 weeks. As I said, it became very much compared to what you can achieve in 5 years or more. So you see, you need to find a place. You need to go and look out for the place. The Buddha mentioned that in the beginning of Satipatthana Sutta, or even Anapanasati Sutta, the Buddha mentioned you have to say that you have to go and look out for an empty hut, an empty place, a place where it's free from people, there's nobody. Then you try to meditate. You have to go away from those things. If you meditate at home, there are sensual pleasures, your duty, your responsibility, your work is so many. So you got to find time. You want to develop something, you have to sacrifice certain of your time. And you have to give up on the pleasures and the responsibility and the family and so on. You have to plunge yourself into it. You got to jump into the pool and start swimming. If not, the swimming part is just holding on to the side. So you really have to go into it. So my advice here is that you mainly practice at home. I know it's good, but it's not good enough. It's good, but it's not good enough. So you have to go and look for a place to meditate. Then when you find the teachers, the right teachers, then the teachers will act as your guide. Then you will show you the right path, the right way. When you fall into the pitfalls, then the teacher will guide you out from it. Sometimes nicely, sometimes very sternly, sometimes even ask you to go back first, get out from the whole meditation center until you realize that you are wrong. Then you come back again. Then the teacher may forgive you. Sometimes our mind is so. But that one, some of the pitfalls also I've mentioned in the past talks. I'm going to mention also when it comes to, especially in the second noble truth, the craving. This particular craving, it creates so many types of pitfall for all of us. And when we really do not know the nature of this craving, when we do not know the nature of this craving, that is where we get where we get a lot of pitfalls. So just hold on to your horses. Then when it comes to the second noble truth, then we can elaborate on it. When it comes to the second noble truth, hopefully it's not Chinese New Year yet. I wonder Chinese New Year what they're all going to do right now this year. Most probably you won't able to go out. Can go out, what you're going to do. Anyway, we'll see. All right. So we're going to look into that. Now, there are many pitfalls. So as I said, the first one, you really need a teacher. Nowadays, there are some people in the West, they say that what for we all need teachers. The books is so many. The Dharma books is so many. So many people write those books already. What for we need teachers? Use the book and meditate. Sometimes, a lot of times, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You need face to face. You need face to face with a teacher, because the book will tell you what to do. It tells you certain pitfalls only. But when you actually fall into the pitfall, you don't even know that you are in the pitfall now, because the craving will make it very nice and make it very pleasant. So you won't able to know when you are in the pitfall until somebody tells you, then you get out from it. Until you realize, only you get out from it. But while you are there, it feels very nice. So many yogis over the years, I encounter these things. Sometimes they come under my retreat. I tell them nicely, or I tell them sternly, or I chase them out until they realize. Then they come back again. And also the past teachers also did like this. So you need teachers for the first thing. Even not only the pitfalls, but even talking about dukkha, that actually when you are meditating also, in a deeper aspect of it, when you are actually observing dukkha, that time you don't even know conceptually that this is dukkha also. You know, like you see something and this one this way, that way. You can describe in your own words, but you cannot relate this dukkha and what you experience together also. And that doesn't matter, because this dukkha word is all concept. What is more important? What you see things as they really are. So, as I said here, you need a teacher. You need a teacher to really guide you to go through it. So the pitfalls and everything, we'll talk about that now. The yardstick also the teacher will help you to let you know whether you are progressing or not. But don't go and ask how much have you progressed. Sometimes some yogis, Bhante, I meditated with you for so long already, Bhante. Since your first time you come here, I've been to your retreat many times already. But never you let me know where I am in my progress. You never let me know which insight I'm in. Am I in this insight or that insight? But when I go to other teachers' retreat, you see the Sayadaw told me I'm at the 5th insight already. How come? Which insight you never tell me? Oh. Sometimes you're so attached with the progressor. We are so attached with all this knowledge, attached with all these things. And then they are so eager to get enlightened, because sometimes how they calculate is that, this 16 insight knowledge, maybe first retreat, let me try to have 3 insight. Then next retreat, maybe 2 insight. Then after this retreat, maybe by 5 retreats, enlightened. There are people calculate like that. And there are people who come in right in front of me and mention it like that. Sometimes this type of yogis, although right in front of me, I try to tell them this is not the way how you're going to put a yardstick in your progress and all that. I tell them a bit nicely, but inside my mind, sometimes I want to strangle them. I want to scare them until they die. Really, sometimes I just want to to give them a bit of, but you can't do that, isn't it? But yeah, people like that, yeah, yogis, not every time, you just grind you, in a certain way, But anyway, this type is that I try to keep them. This is not the yardstick that you have to be. You put there. You can know for yourself. If you really want to meditate, you can know for yourself. You compare yourself first time you meditate until right now you meditate. Is your mind have less anger, less restless mind while you're meditating? Don't talk about when you're not meditating. When you're meditating, when you're in your retreat, is the mind able to notice the object clearer, better? If your mind can able to notice better, less sleepiness, less restless mind, those things are your immediate yardstick that you can actually see for yourself. But then a lot of times yogi don't find that this is very interesting. The more interesting is that they meditate a little bit, they open up their books. Oh, Mahasi Sayadaw says the third insight is like this, like this, like this. Fourth insight, like that, like that. So maybe while I was watching it, I think maybe I'm also in the third insight already. They use this book and they use their experience. They try to match, And a lot of times, when they match, they overestimate their practice. They are not there yet, but they think that they are there. A lot of times, people, yogis do that. But there are some yogis who underestimate also. So this one, it's hard to say. All you need to do is to see yourself in how you meditate. As you can able to become more clearer, more penetrative, you can able to sit with a 1 hour and you can be quite clear, then the progress is there. All you need to do is repeat it again and again and again and again and again until you die. You cannot finish, next life continue again. All right, next question. Okay. Next question. Those are next 4 questions, a little bit more complicated. This is from Brother Quack. The question number 8 is quite easy, actually. Venerable Sariputta, the general of the Dhamma, was said to have found the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, the 8th jhana, to be too subtle for him. Meaning, possibility that he attained up to the sphere of nothingness, which is only the 7th jhana only. Is this due to lack of concentration or because he did not make strong adhitthana or determination to attain it? Well, this is wrong. This is totally wrong. This is wrong. This is totally wrong. He can able to attain all the 8 jhana and he can attain them at will, any one of them. Let me show you a sutta. Stop sharing. Okay. Okay, let me show you this one. Can you all see? Okay. Now, you look at the base of neither perception nor non-perception. Here, what do you mean base of neither non-perception? Base of neither perception or non-perception here, it means that, I put it bigger a bit now, the words, so that y'all can see easier. Okay. All right, hold on. Okay. The base of neither perception nor non-perception here, at Savatthi, here, Venerable Ananda saw Sariputta coming from a distance. Here, all the ... now, it's because of the previous suttas, it's mentioning again and again. But this one here, the next paragraph is here, friend, by completely transcending the base of nothingness. Transcending the base of nothingness means this is the 7th jhana. The 7th jhana. So, he completely, that means he push them aside. I entered and dwelt in the base of neither perception nor non-perception. So this is the 8th jhana here. So, yet, friend, I did not occur to me. I'm attaining the base of neither sense of perception. Here, later part, the later part, it means that, again, the ... is connected to another sutta. Here, it means that the Buddha don't associate all the jhana level with I, me, or myself, or mine, I, mine, or myself. So the Buddha did not associate with those jhana, with those in that way, because the Sariputta here is already an arahant already. So he can able to enter into the neither sphere or the 8th jhana, as shown in the sutta here. Okay. All right. We go back to the sharing again. Okay, can see. Okay. Now, number 9. After attaining Phala Samapatti, fruition attainment, and remaining immersed for about 5 minutes in the state, a yogi perceives the sphere of nothingness, and from there he can make aditana to attain the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. Is this correct? Some of you, may be thinking, what type of question is this? You don't understand, maybe some of you may not understand what the question is. Now after that, when I answer also, some of you also, what is Bhante talking about also? Anyway, I understand the question. I understand fully well the question, But some of you need a bit of explanation. But we don't have much time to explain so many detailed things. Now here, after attaining Phala Samapatti, the Phala Samapatti means fruition attainment. That fruition attainment can be attained by Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Anagami and Arahant. All the noble ones can attain Phala Samapatti. And say here, remain in 5 minutes in that state, perceive nothingness, and so on. Is this correct? This is not correct. This is not correct. Not correct because there are different types of meditation here. Phala Samapatti here is attained by, in the sense of when you're able to see or when you're able to realize Nibbana. That means attainment, which is, put in a way, it's a vipassana way. You have to see them as they are. You have to realize the Nibbana, Phala Samapatti. That means you can sit there for a long period of time, absorbed in the Nibbana as an element, Nibbanic element. So you can sit there. That's what we call Phala Samapatti. Immerse in 5 minutes, then you come out, and then this perceives the sphere of nothingness and aditana in the sphere of perception or non-perception. This is not correct because the sphere of nothingness and sphere of perception or non-perception, this belongs to samatha. It belongs to the samatha. You cannot just suddenly in the nibbana, then you jump over to samatha. It's not in that sense. You cannot go into that. You can go into that in another way. What you can do if a person able to attain Phala Samapatti, then it doesn't matter whether 5 minutes or 10 minutes of 1 hour or so, it doesn't matter. If you want to attain to if you want to go into the samatha, then you have to emerge yourself out of the Phala Samapatti. You have to emerge out. That means when you emerge out, you begin to see anicca, dukkha, anatta again. Then all this anicca, dukkha, anatta, all this thing, you have to push them aside. Push them aside means that now you don't pay attention to them, but you begin to take up a samatha object. Begin to take up a samatha object. And if let's say if you are good in if you are skillful in all the first jhana until the 8th jhana, then let's say you want to go into the 7th jhana, let's say. Then you have to sort of like go into the sixth jhana first, clear the sixth jhana, then you enter into the seventh jhana. If you want to go into the eighth jhana, then after that you have to clear the eighth jhana, then you enter into the eighth jhana. You clear the seventh jhana, then you enter into the eighth jhana. So here is that you cannot jump from a fruition consciousness, which is nibbana, into samatha path. If from a supramundane right now, and then suddenly you jump into a mundane, which is the base of neither perception of not. All these are mundane. You cannot jump in that sense, but you have to come out totally from the vipassana, go into the samatha path. Then only you can able to do that. All right. Okay. Number 10, I may not able to understand this one completely, The realm of the fourth light kasina cannot be reached without first attaining the sphere of infinite space. Is this correct? I'm not sure what is the meaning of the realm of the fourth light kasina, but what I think is that is maybe the fourth jhana of light kasina. Okay, the fourth jhana of light kasina. Now, here the light kasina means, again here falls under samatha meditation. If you use the light as a concept, as a kasina, then you can able to, you develop it, then you can able to do first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. Now, is this the statement here is that you cannot attain the fourth jhana without attaining the infinite space? That is also not correct. Because the sphere of infinite space, that belongs to what we call arupa jhana. You see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are two parts of it. 1, 2, 3, 4 is called a rupa jhana. Rupa jhana. Whereas 5, 6, 7, 8 is called arupa jhana. Rupa and arupa jhana. You don't have to, like kasina, if it is the fourth light kasina here, you don't have to go up to the arupa jhana. Then after that you come down again to the rupa jhana. It's not necessary to do that. So it's not necessary to do that. You can attain the fourth jhana without attaining any of these arupa jhana. But the fourth jhana of the light kasina, after that, if you want to attain the higher arupa jhana, then also can. Also can. We don't talk about that. That one is very complicated. Number 11. Number 11 also. Read also, you're also pening. Pusing. Is it possible for one to expand or extend one's rupa jhana as well as to jump from one jhana up and down to another up and down and across the different kasina, asubha, 4 elements, 4 Brahma Vihara? Is this correct? Now, there are 2 parts here, maybe 2 or 3 parts here that we need to really explain a little bit. Is it possible for one to extend one rupa jhana as well as to jump from one jhana to another up and down? We put into that. Now, the rupa jhana here, if you want to expand the jhana, you see jhana here, they still have resultant. You attain jhana, you have resultant. Whereas friction, the pala samapatti, they have no resultant in the sense that this is nibbana. They don't have cause, they don't have result. But jhana, you still have result. And when you jhana's resultant, that means you are potential to reborn in the different realms of the Brahma realm. And in the Brahma realm, you see that the Brahma realm, they got 16 Brahma realm. They have more realms than the Deva realm. And that different realm corresponds to, let's say, to the jhana. And the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, they can have a three different existence. First realm, second realm, third realm for the first jhana. Then after that, you go to the second jhana. Again, you have a one first level, first class, second class, third class. Yeah. Now, each class has doubled its lifespan. Now, how do you going to able to know that you are in the first class of the first jhana, second class of the first jhana, or the third class of the first jhana? So again, here it comes with how you expand your jhana. How you expand your jhana, whether your jhana is narrow jhana or whether your jhana is expanded jhana. Expanded, that means there's no limit jhana. So it all corresponds to how the development of the jhana. So that one is within a jhana. Within a jhana, you expand or you contract the jhana. So that one, it's within a jhana. So that one doesn't have a connection with how you jump from one jhana to another jhana. Okay, so that one is, we cover that one. Now, jumping from one jhana to another jhana, that means if you are skillful, let's say again, first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, the rupa jhana, let's say. If you're skillful in that rupa jhana, that means you know its characteristics, you know it's how to enter and everything. And you can sit down, you enter within like a minute or two, you can enter, or within like 10 seconds, you already enter into jhana. You don't have to sit until 1 hour and so on, You can able to take up the nimitta very fast, for a few seconds, you already enter into the jhana. Sometimes don't even, if you're skillful enough, you don't even need 2 seconds or so. Within 2 seconds, you already enter into the jhana. We're not talking about the beginner in the jhana. You have to make the nimitta very clear. It's free from, it's supposed to be unblemished, it's perfect and all that. Then only you can enter. That is when you are beginning to enter into jhana. But when you are skillful in the jhana, you enter into jhana with 1 or 2 seconds if you want it. Or you want to emerge from it also can. You want to go in, stay, and you want to go in and emerge. You can do it in many ways. Anyway, but if you want to jump from one jhana to another jhana, then you must be very skillful in all these four jhana. And then that time, first jhana, you want to jump to the third jhana. Can or not? Can. You go inside there, you come out from the jhana, you take up within 2 seconds, you already enter into the third jhana. Then after that, I want to go back to the second jhana. Okay, come out from the second and third jhana. Then after that, you go fourth jhana. Then you come back first jhana. Then you can jump here and there. But it can be done. Not to say cannot be done. You must be skillful in each and every jhana. Can you do it with arupa jhana? Also can. First jhana, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. You also can. That means you got 8 jhana right now. So you must be very skillful. You enter this one, you jump into enter number 1. You want to jump to number 6. Number 6, you jump to number 7. Number 7, you come down to number 3. Number 3, you go to number 5. Can. As long as you are skillful in it. So this is all about jumping the jhana. And across different kasina, asubha, and all that thing. I think if we want to jump the jhana and so on, you stay with the same type of, for now, you stay with the same type of object. In the sense that if you want to jump the jhana, you're using anapana, let's say. And when you use this anapana to jump the jhana from one to another, then you stay with the jhana only. So stay with anapanasati only. Yeah, the anapana only. Now, let's say for another time, you want to use the Brahma Vihara. You want to use the Brahma Vihara, but this time the Brahma Vihara can only give you to the third jhana only. It cannot go higher. Or it can go higher if you connect with equanimity. Also can. But metta, karuna, upeka is only the jhana only. It's only when you come to the upeka, they give you the fourth jhana. All right. Again here, when you want to jump jhana within this Brahma Vihara, you have to take up one only. That means you do metta, you jump from 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, something like this. Then you can do that. But you cannot like suddenly when you use the upeka to do it. Cannot. You have to come out from the metta, take up upeka, and then again you do that. That means you must be very skillful in different object. Your Brahma Vihara, you must be very skillful in attaining the jhana. Then you must be skillful in the anapana, for example. But then some people, although they are skillful in attaining this one, but they may not be skillful in the light jhana. So when it comes to the light jhana, they have a difficulty getting the nimitta. They can get nimitta easily in the anapana, but they cannot get nimitta in the light jhana. Also, there are some people also, because in the nimitta here, that it's not easy for the mind to able to create the thing, because maybe not skillful enough. But if he train or she train, then also can do that also. Yeah. So here, so your statement here is all mixed up. It's all mixed up. So if you put that in a sentence, it's all not correct. It's all not correct. So you have to break it down to look into it piece by piece. Then only when it stands on its own, then it's more clearer in that sense. Hope you understand what I'm talking about. As I said, this question, the question itself is already mind-boggling to you, but when the answer come in, you're lucky pushing your mind. I can understand this quite clearly because we've been dealing with this meditation, reading about it, and so on. We understand what is the question meant. But for those of you, well, since this is a Q&A, so bear up with it. All right, so that's it for tonight. And we're going to continue on the Four Noble Truth on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. Okay? All right, so now we share merits.